Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk to y'all a little bit today about being healthy, especially in your midlife. As I'm 44 years old, and you can't tell right now, I wear big clothes, especially when it's cold outside, but you can see I'm in pretty good shape for an old man. I'm not an old man, I'm only 44, but still 44 is, starting to get up there a little bit. And I want to share with y'all how I can maintain a body like this in my midlife. And actually, right now, I'm going out. I'm on my way to Decathlon. If you're not sure what that is, it's just a sports store here in China. If you're in America, think of something like a Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that. It's just a store, and all they sell is sports related equipment. So it doesn't matter what sport it is, you can find the stuff for it at Decathlon. If you're into running or roller skating or bicycling, camping, swimming, kayaking, ping pong, whatever your thing is, you can find the stuff for it at Decathlon. And so that's where I'm going to pick up a few things. And since I'm going to pick up some sports related stuff, I thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit about sports and health and stuff like that. So I'm putting on my shoes real quick. I'm just sitting down here in this little stool, putting on my shoes, and then we're on our way. So let's go.
I never really had a place to call my own, so I traveled.
Just sitting right there. That's where we're heading. Decathlon. All right, so I just bought a couple things in there, but I couldn't film in there, man. It was a little bit annoying, to be honest with you. Like when I was in there, like looking around trying to look for what I was looking for, it just everybody like I had like why go in like 20 times. It just means like foreigner. So like everywhere, the people just like pointing and they say, look, there's a foreigner over there, a foreigner over there. It's so annoying. After I heard it like 30 times within the span of 20 minutes, it gets kind of frustrating. I don't want to film it. It draws even more attention to myself. And I don't care for attention. I prefer to like be, low key. But anyway, I made a purchase. I bought a couple things. What I buy? Buy a couple things for work, like some clothes, like some running outfits, something like that, because I work outside in the sun, and so I bought like some UV protection, like really lightweight clothes for in the summer because it's starting to get warm here soon. And but I got like long sleeves, so covered up my arms, covered my tattoos and stuff like that, because I don't want to show my tattoos to the kids and stuff. And anyway, also try to protect my skin from getting burned up in the sun. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, when it comes to getting fit in your 40s, there are lots of different things that you can do and that I do. But at the same time, I also want to preface this by saying, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing sports and fitness and exercise and all that stuff since I was 5 years old. And when I say doing it since I was 5, I mean like almost every day of my life, at least 4 or 5 days per week for my entire life. From the time I was 5 years old till now, which I'm almost 45, I'm 44. So basically 40 years of doing exercise. So, when you've been doing something for so long, it's just, it's easier to maintain the body that you want without doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. Now, that being said, if you want to get results similar to mine in your 40s, it's not going to take you 40 years to do it. You can do it in a matter of probably I would say 2 years. I mean, you can really make a lot of progress in 6 months, and a year do really good, but in the 2 years, you can really have the body that you really want in terms of like the health and stuff like that. But that being said, it's a lot more difficult in your 40s also. But luckily for me, I started at a young age, so it's easy for me to maintain without putting in, a crazy amount of work and doing a lot of crazy stuff. But yeah. All right, so let's get into some tips that's going to help you guys out. And this will work for girls too. But I mean, for anybody who's, I would say around 37 years old or older, because that's about the time when I started to notice the changes in my body as a man, like the way my metabolism started to slow down and all these things. It was around that age. That's usually around the age you see a lot of professional athletes retire around this age too, because that's when the body starts to change. So if you're 37 or older, a lot of these tips you're going to find helpful and useful in terms of improving your overall health, improving the way your body looks, and just starting to look better and feel better. And some of these things are going to require some discipline. Now, I'm just talking to you from a professional standpoint. I am a certified trainer. I used to do competitions as well. I did many competitions in my younger days. And, I've trained many athletes and also just normal people like in the gym, like everyday average Joes, as well as people who want to compete. But this is more for people who are just been out of shape or, haven't been in the gym ever before, or have been, but they're really out of shape now and they want to get, back in shape. So number one is going to be the most important thing that's going to help you more than anything, even if you don't go to the gym, is going to be tracking your calories. And so I suggest you download an app that tracks your calories. I use the one called MyFitnessPal. They have a free version and a paid version. I just use the free version. And, I'm not going to put a link in it like that. You can look it up, MyFitnessPal. But, yeah, just use the free one. It's good enough. Now, in terms of tracking your calories, how do you need to set that up? Number one, I'm assuming most of you are probably overweight. If you're, out of shape and you want to get back in shape, you're probably, a little bit overweight or a lot overweight. And what I would recommend doing would be losing weight, as fast as possible, getting lean as fast as possible. Because once you get to a certain level, it's easier to maintain that level. But it's not easy to get there, right? It's hard to get to that lean stage, but it's much easier to maintain it. So you got to get lean first. And the best way to do that as fast as possible is to take your body weight in pounds and multiply that by 10. And that's how many calories you need to be eating per day. So just, I don't know, give you a quick example. Let's just do 200, for example. Say you weigh 200 pounds, right? 200 times 10 will be 2,000. So you need to be eating 2,000 calories per day, no more. And that will help you to start shedding some fat and losing some weight pretty fast. Now, secondly, what you consume does matter, especially at this age. And I would highly recommend you consume a high protein diet, which means you're going to eat a lot of meat. And I would not saying like do like a keto diet and avoid carbs whatsoever, but you need more protein and some fat is okay, but you want to cut the carbs down a little bit. Number one, carbs are addictive and they make you more hungry. And, protein is more satiating, like it will keep you full longer. Fats also fats, it's just like animal fats, like from meat, is actually good for your hormones and help you keep your testosterone levels high, which is something that you need in an older age. So definitely recommend doing that. Now, how would I do that? I know all over the internet, and there's lots of studies, and everybody says like 0.7 grams of protein per pound. Some people even say 1 gram per pound, but most of the studies say 0.7. But I'm not a science person. I'm a bro person. So I've tried the science stuff, and just from doing this for so many years, I have figured out what works for me. And I've also trained older people, and I have figured out what works for them. Now, if you are in the process of losing fat, I would say take your protein as high as 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. So, if you weigh, 100 and let's just say, man, that's going to be a lot. Let's just say you weigh 200 pounds, 200, 1.5, you're going to need like 300 grams of protein. So that's going to take up a lot of calories. 300 grams of protein, that's going to be 1,200 calories worth of protein. And now you have 800 calories worth of other stuff, carbs and fats you can consume. So, you're going to need to have a high amount of protein. Why? Number one is because our bodies, when you're getting older, doesn't process stuff the way it used to when you're younger, right? Where our bodies are getting older and wear out, and they're not as efficient. So, that 0.7 grams of protein, your body might not be able to, retain all that protein because your body doesn't process it very well. So it's good to have a higher number of proteins. So you can actually get the 0.7 or the 1 gram protein per pound that you actually need, by over consuming, because some of it's going to be lost in the process of processing that protein. So keep that in mind as you're getting older. Secondly, in terms of your diet and what you're consuming, like I said, the high protein diet, and what I recommend in order to get that much protein in, because you're probably going to need a lot of protein, but what I recommend to get that in is getting some type of protein shake. I can't sell you none here. I'm not here to say that, but I do have that business here in China where I sell protein powder. But for those of you who obviously can't buy stuff from me, I still recommend you get a protein shake. Number one, because it's going to have less calories than actually consuming like raw meat. Like say you're eating a steak or chicken breast or fish. A lot of those can be high in calories, and it can put you over your calorie limit. And you really need to hit that calorie limit, the minimum calorie limit, in order to start losing fat. So I recommend you get a shake. I'll show you what I'm talking about, like this, you don't have to be this brand. It can be any brand, to be honest with you. It doesn't really matter. But this is the one I'm having to be using. Is this? This is isolate. It's a higher quality protein. It's not like cheap quality protein. Again, as you're getting older, it's not as easy for your body to process those proteins. And when you start putting low quality stuff in your body, it makes it even more difficult. So I use isolate, which is easier for your body to digest, easier for your stomach to handle. And it just trust me, spend the money, get the higher quality protein. Now, other than that, also in regards to your diet, if you're like me, I used to have a sweet tooth. I used to like to eat sugar, cakes and cookies and all that stuff. I used to love that stuff. And once my body started changing, I couldn't really eat that stuff like I used to before, because it just had a negative effect on my body. And so how I got rid of that, again, was with the protein shake, because these protein powders, they come in so many different flavors, and they do have like a sweet taste, even if they're not sweet. Like this one doesn't even have hardly any sugar at all in it. It's almost zero sugar, but it tastes sweet. And so you can satisfy that sweet tooth, that sweet craving, by reaching for a protein shake instead of reaching for some cake or some cookies or whatever kind of sweet stuff that you like. This will also have that sweet taste to satisfy that, but you're consuming something of higher quality, and it's not gonna mess up your diet that much. Even if you go over your calories, at least you had something of high quality and not some crap, right? So that's gonna be the second thing. And then also there's a couple other supplements you can consider taking that I think are beneficial, but not a lot. Like, don't be taking fat loss pills. Most of them are useless. There's like BCAA and all this other stuff. No need to take all of that. I'd recommend getting some protein powder and some creatine. Creatine has lots of benefits, lots of health benefits. And it's also proven to be effective by all the studies. It's like the most studied supplement ever. So get yourself some creatine. Then on top of that, you might want to consider some regular supplements, like some fish oil, which is good for your heart. And, it's also a healthy fat. Another thing you might want to consider is just a regular daily multivitamin, because we probably don't all eat correctly. And it's just good to have a backup plan to catch up on some of the nutrients that you're missing through your diet. So those are the supplements that I recommend. Anything other than that, it's just kind of overkill. If you got the money to afford it, then go for it. But I wouldn't, just spend a bunch of money on it if I were you. That being said, other than the supplements, when it comes to, a training plan, if you do want to work out and start going to the gym and trying to get healthier, if you're getting up there in age, like myself, I'm not like super old, but I do notice the way my body feels different now, and it's harder to recover. And so in order to keep your joints healthy, you don't want to go too crazy with the weights and start lifting stuff that's super heavy, because that's really hard on your joints. You want to choose more moderate weights. And so what do I mean by moderate weights? I'm talking about, what I lift doesn't matter. How much weight I lift doesn't matter. I'm talking about like exactly how much, like in a certain number of pounds. When I say moderate, I mean the amount of repetitions you could do. So you want to choose some weight that you can do like between 8 to 12 repetitions each set. So for example, you're going to do 3 sets. All 3 sets must have at least 8 reps, 10, 12, something like that. If you can do more than 12, it's a little bit too light. And if you can't do 8, then it's too heavy and it can be harder on your joints. So the way I organize my workout program is I separate mine into 4 days. I have one day where I train upper body and I use moderate weight, like I just mentioned to you. I train in the 8 to 12 rep range. Then I have the second day right after the first day where I train my lower body and my abs. So I train my legs and my abs on that second day. Again, I use moderate weight, 8 to 12 reps. And then on the third day, I will rest. I won't go to the gym. I'll just do something active. I go outside and go for a walk. I go for walks all the time. I might walk like anywhere between 10 to 20,000 steps per day. That's what I do. Now, on the next day, which will be Thursday, which is basically day 3 of my workout program, I'm training upper body again. But this time, I'm not doing moderate weight. I'm doing lighter weights, but high repetitions. So I'm going to do something like 15 to 20 repetitions, but the weight is going to be lighter. And basically what I'm doing is just pumping a bunch of fresh blood and nutrients into my muscles to help them recover from the workout that I did previously. And then on Friday, I'm going to do the exact same thing for my lower body. I'm going to be doing higher repetitions, 15 to 20. Again, pumping fresh blood in there, help my legs, help my body recover by pumping the fresh blood and nutrients into your body. If your diet's good, you're pumping fresh nutrients into your body, right? So that's how I do it. Saturday, Sunday, take off, right? So I'm taking 3 days off and I'm working out 4 days. Now, if you're coming back to the gym just now, you can get away with doing 3 days a week. Just do a full body workout 3 days per week. And if I were you, I would do like maybe like a lighter weight at the beginning to get your body kind of primed and pumped up. And then your second day that you go back to the gym. So you say on Monday you go do lighter weight, Tuesday take a day off, Wednesday you go do a moderately heavy again, like 8 to 12. Thursday take a day off, Friday do a lighter weight again, pump some fresh blood and nutrients in there. And I would do that way for like 6 months if I were you. And then after that, then maybe you can start doing like say a heavier on Monday and Friday and do your lighter one on Wednesday. Just kind of mix it up that way. But if the workouts become long, it's like I myself, I'm quite strong. That's why I split mine up into upper lower, because if I'm doing full body 3 days per week, because I am pretty strong, I could be in the gym for 3 or 4 hours and it's too damn long. I don't want to be in the gym that long. So I split it up to upper lower. So I spend an hour per time instead of 2 or 3 hours trying to do my full body in one workout. So that's why I do that, because I've reached a certain level of strength that it just takes too long to do full body. But if you're not super strong yet, full body is great. Once you start getting stronger and your workouts become too long, then you can break them up like I just told you, upper lower like that. So in terms of workout, that's what I would recommend doing. Anything else you guys want to know about this? I don't want to make this video too long. So let me know below if you have any questions about this, because this is my area of expertise. This is what I love to do. This is what I've been doing pretty much my whole life. And I like to talk about this. I can go on about this for days and days and days, but I don't want to bore you to death. So have any questions about it, be sure and let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and I would love to hopefully help you get started on getting healthy again and getting the body that you like. I would be more than happy to help you do that. So that's all I got for you today. Let me know in the comments below what else you want to see next, what else you want me to talk about. I'll be more happy to make those videos for you guys. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Take care. Love y'all.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love